There's things that you're good at. There's things that people are pulling on you. There's assignments that people are trying to give you. And then there's the things that you're supposed to be doing, right? The things that you're supposed to be doing in this season are the things that are building that inside person that you are.
Can you temper your ambition?
Yes.
And can you truly pump the brakes and say, let me find out if this aligns with where I'm going? Or are you so, aspirational and hungry out here for it that you will violate all the things that have made you who you are to get it? Well, hey, I'm Bishop.
And I'm Dr. Steph.
And thank you so much for tuning in to another edition of Couple of Destiny.
As we talk about our life, our journey, and our truth.
Boom. And we're so excited every week to have you connected on this platform right here on YouTube. And we appreciate you so much. It means a lot to have you connected. And if you're a first-time viewer, we want to make sure that you connect with us. Make sure while you're here, you like, you comment,
you subscribe, and make sure you share with your friends as well.
Subscribe, please do that, because we want to make certain that we continue to build this community. And of course, we want to know more about you as we continue to bring resources and things that we think can be a tremendous blessing to your life. Let me tell you something. Want to make sure you follow Dr. Steph, man. I'm telling you, follow her on Instagram, Facebook, all that, Dr. Steph Walker. Follow me at Joseph Walker 3. And of course, on Instagram, you can get more information at our website, josephwalker3.org. We've got a book by the title, Becoming a Couple of Destiny, and other things out there, merge with stuff that can be a blessing to you. So people have really been letting us know they're being blessed.
Yeah.
I am encouraged every week, aren't you?
It's so fun, yeah. Communicating and answering questions. So yeah.
It's been really cool. So y'all, we appreciate you. And wherever you are, we want to know what part of the country, part of the world you're watching us. Put in the comment section. Let us know if you're in the West Coast, East Coast, South, North, wherever you are, or if you're in Europe or Africa, wherever you are. We want to hear from you. So we appreciate you so much. Honey, today is a great topic because, there's more in you than one thing. You're called to do more than one thing. And how do you balance all that well? How do you manage all that, right? And I want to open up by saying, I just believe this, all of my heart. I'm going to say it for the people in the back of the room so they can understand it, right? There are, listen carefully, gifts, plural,
gifts
in you. And when you understand that, you begin to recognize if there are gifts in you, there is an assignment ahead of you and an anointing upon you. Watch this now. The gifts that are in you are released toward an assignment, but that assignment is only accomplished under the anointing of the hand of God to do it. But what's important is that there is nothing inside of you that is one-dimensional. That the purpose on your life is never to just do one thing. It is so extraordinary that you have multiple things inside of you, multiple streams, multiple gifts, multiple ideas, and multiple opportunities that are just lying dormant in some people because you've been told you can only just keep doing this. We get caught in this whole idea, if I just wake up every day, I do this one thing, without realizing that one thing is what creates and opens up opportunities for the other things to happen. So I want you to know that there are multiple things inside of you to do, and never let anyone pigeonhole you into one particular area. You are a physician, but that's not all that you are.
Right.
How do you come to discover what those other things are? They're passionately inside of you, right?
Well, I don't know that it's always something that you just know.
No,
right?
Of course not.
I think sometimes it's something that you might stumble upon, but I don't believe in accidents. I think it's the hand of God sort of guiding you. I think there's things that you discover. There are things that you uncover. There are things that you know that you're passionate about, but you just don't know how to work it into your life necessarily.
Yeah.
That if you just remain prayerful and keep moving forward, eventually God will show you a way. Like, for example, yes, I'm a physician. I wanted to be a doctor since I was 8 years old, right? I went to medical school, did all my training, became a doctor, neonatologist. But I'm also an entrepreneur. I started a business in 2015. I've never had a business of my own ever in life. Very successful, lucrative business. I am a mom. I'm a wife, a daughter, a sister, a friend.
An author.
An author. I mentor
Yeah.
a number of young people. Like, there are other things that I do and that I'm capable of doing. But like, how do you narrow it down? How do you bring it all together? I'm a community activist or what have you, like advocate, I should say. And as a physician, I did not know that I was capable of doing those things because as a young person, I thought a doctor was just that, a doctor. I didn't know that you could be a doctor and work in the community, be a doctor and work in your local church, be a doctor and, advocate for people other than the people that you're caring for, be a doctor and mentor kids that are young people who are not just in the medical field, but in all other, areas of life. I didn't know that you could be a business person. I didn't know that you could do all these things right? But eventually you begin to see and discover and follow the passions and the dreams that you have inside of you. And the interesting thing is God makes a way to make it all work and make it make sense, right? Like, the reason that I didn't think about those things because I could never align them myself.
Yeah.
But then you start, looking at things through his lens as he plants them in your spirit. And you're like, okay, well, this is what I'm passionate about in the hospital. Okay, I can make a business out of this area over here.
Yeah.
I can, take this arm and go this way in this direction in the community. And so then you're able to use whatever that thing that you're most passionate about and create other streams or rivers or, avenues by which you're going to go down these other streets, but they're still all interconnected.
One of the things that I think is important to hear in what you just heard is that everything that she talked about, it all touched.
Yes.
Everything touched everything. Being a physician touches the church. Underserved communities, the church's, ability to touch and galvanize people around health and wellness, to bridge those communities, right? The business you were involved in about healthy beauty and helping people in that touched, right? All the different things you do is the same, that when I think about, being a pastor, but I'm also an author, I'm also a public speaker, I teach on leadership, right? Everything has to touch. And sometimes what happens is that we are doing a lot of stuff that doesn't touch the main thing. Like, the initial purpose spawns all the other things that are in us because it makes it make sense. And it doesn't stress us out. As long as you stay aligned with the main thing, anything that is on the vine of the main thing will never stress you out. It's when you're doing stuff that way over here, because somebody says, oh, you guys will be great for this. You're like, does that really touch the main thing, the core of who we are?
I love that you said that, because now I can share like how I choose to do what I'm doing, what I do, right?
Yeah.
So it's something that's super rudimentary. It's not rocket science. And I urge you to try this really simple exercise. So you take a completely blank sheet of paper, and I do this probably once a quarter, at least, definitely at the beginning of the year, and usually once a quarter throughout the course of the year. And I put a circle in the middle of this big giant piece of paper. And in the circle, it's me. And I write all the things about me, like, who am I? Who am I in this season? All those things I just named. What are the things that I'm passionate about? Whatever. And then on the outside of that circle, I write down all the things that I'm involved in, even some of the passions that I might not necessarily be involved in, but those things too. And then I take a pen and I'm able to only draw a line from those things that are on that outside of the circle. I draw a line from those things to the circle that actually help me become a better person that's inside of the circle.
That's it.
Does that make sense? So there's things that people are asking you to do. There's things that you're good at. There's things that people are pulling on you. There's assignments that people are trying to give you. And then there's the things that you're supposed to be doing, right? The things that you're supposed to be doing in this season are the things that are building that inside person that you are. So you take that arrow and all the things that are able to point back to building that person that you're trying to be in that season, those are the things and the projects and, the circumstances that you're allowed to pursue in this season. All those other random things that, yes, you could do. Yes, you'd probably be great at it. Yes, you could blow it up probably. But if those are not going to help you build that person that you're trying to be in this season, you're not allowed to do that in this season, right? And having that mindset of being able to shift those things around, depending on what season you're in, giving yourself permission. Maybe that was in your top 5 things that you were doing last season, but that's not who you're trying to be. That's not where God is taking you. Yeah. So don't waste your time doing those things that are not in alignment of where you're trying to go. Because it's great. Yay, I applaud you. But that's not going to move the needle forward. That's not going to get you where you need to be in life.
And I think one of the things that I've learned, you've seen it in real time, is that sometimes you can actually be doing certain things that do align, but those things are seasonal.
Yes.
And as you continue to evolve, it's your willingness to let those things go, redact, repurpose, reimagine, refocus on where your next will be, rather than just hold on to those things because those things are, powerful and they're so awesome.
I'm on this board,
and the Lord knows I've been blessed. And don't get me wrong, I thank God for every experience I've had. I've been on university boards, I've chaired, I've been on bank boards, I've been on community boards, I've been the board guy. And then it happened in this interesting way, right? That in honestly, I think a 12-month period, that all of it came to an end. Providentially, it was you have to come off of this board, you have to come off of this board, and I think God was releasing me from those spaces so that my energy
could be pointed
toward my next.
Where you're supposed to be going next.
Give your all, where you are, give your all and do it well, but then you can't, it would have been easy to say, but I don't want to let go of this, and I would have missed opportunities, right? And I think you have to learn seasons. Everything happens in a season. And when you fulfill that season, when your season is up, position yourself for the next thing that God has in store for you.
Which is why, going back to what I was saying, if you choose to do that exercise that I was suggesting, you do it every quarter because you're able to then shift your priorities based on where you're learning that God is taking you. You go from sort of this view and perspective to being able to be laser sharp. You can have 100 candles in a room, but is it going to give you the same kind of energy as one laser when you're pulling all that heat and energy together? You can be laser sharp and you can actually go further, farther, faster, right? And the other thing that I would add, and I love that you said that in terms of having all these things that you're juggling or what have you, at the end of the day, if you're holding on to something where the time is up, there's no way, again, God's perfect timing. Whatever he's released into the atmosphere for you to get it, you're supposed to get it at a specific time, in a specific season, at a specific place. If you're out of line, if you're out of order, if you're holding on to things that you have no business holding on to, when that comes out of the atmosphere and is dropped where it's supposed to be, you're not going to be in position. And even if you are there, your hands are going to be full, so you can't catch it, right? And so what you don't want to do, I don't believe in fear, but the one thing that I do fear is missing God and missing what he has in store for me. So I'm very prayerful. I don't take this process lightly. I'm not I'm doodling on a page. No, I'm Lord, help me understand where I'm supposed to be putting my energy in this season and where you're trying to take me. And then based on that prayer, then I sit down, because then I know that I'm being guided by the Spirit as opposed to being guarded by my carnal, desires, what have you.
Yeah.
Oh, I want to take this assignment because it's going to put me on a stage in front of 5,000 people. That is not my assignment. God did not tell me to do that.
True story. Let me tell you something. You will not believe this. So we're in a room
Oh.
We're in a room. No names are important here, but we're in a room. I'm with this. This is what she lives in real time. And a certain person I have great respect for, respect for. Love, beyond love. That 99.9% of the people, if this person asked them to do something, they would see it like, God, just answer my prayer.
They wouldn't even ask what.
The door is open. Whatever it is, I'm ready. This person was asked to do something by that person individually, looked that person back in the face and said, well, I'm not sure. What is it? Let me think through that, pray about that. And the person looked shocked, but in a good way, as if though they welcomed her pause, her reflection. Like, you really are contemplative and prayerful about the platforms. You're not out here thirsty for this. You really want to be positioned at the right season, the right time.
You're not chasing platforms.
You're not chasing platforms.
You're chasing purpose.
And I sat there in the back of my mind like, girl, you crazy. But I'm thinking like, this was such a powerful moment, and she lives that authentically, right? And I think that's
and the interesting thing is, now every single time I see this person, they embrace me, we sit down, we talk, we laugh. And we didn't have a relationship like that before.
Yeah, they respect you.
Yes.
They respect you.
Because they understand that I am really simply trying to live out God's plan for my life. Yeah. And I am not here trying to be everything for everybody, for everyone's desire. Yeah. I only want and wish to do those things that God has assigned to me.
Can you temper?
My assignment is different.
Can you temper your ambition?
Yes.
And can you truly pump the brakes and say, let me find out if this aligns with where I'm going? Or are you so, aspirational and hungry out here for it that you will violate all the things that have made you who you are to get it? We say it often, do not sacrifice your family, your purpose on the altar of your success. And some people do that because you lose sight of the main thing, which to me says you have to learn this valuable lesson we have learned. No is an answer. The boundaries that are necessary, all of those things we have learned, that you can't say yes to everything, trying to appease other people at the expense of losing sight of the thing that God wants you to do in this season.
Because you have to remember, and this is something that we learned like about 10 years ago, when you say yes to something, you're automatically, simultaneously saying no to something else. And you don't always know what that no is, right? But you need to conscientiously make the effort to not say yes to things that are going to make you say no to the things that are most important. Absolutely. Your family, your marriage, the core relationships that hold you up, your values, your purpose, right? Your relationship with God. Everything else is up for play, but being prayerful about whatever it is that the assignments that you're taking in the next season. You want to make sure, because if you say yes to that, but God hasn't given you the green light to say yes to that because he has something bigger and better in store that's going to blow your mind, you're going to say yes to that, and that's going to take you left, but you really need to be going right. That's a watershed moment. That yes in the wrong season can completely change the trajectory of your life and the legacy that you are supposed to live here on earth. And so one thing I fear is missing God.
Wow. Maybe when you think about it like this, maybe this could be a formula, because I think we kind of give a formula to people. Right? I think there's like an acknowledgement. Acknowledge that there's something inside of you, right? Let's look at that. Acknowledgement. I'm going to acknowledge that there's more in me. And you know that.
Know and believe it.
Know and believe. Never let anybody put you in a corner and say, you're only going to do this for the rest of your life. No.
The devil is a liar.
There is there is more inside of you. So acknowledge that. Now, alignment. What she talked about. Get that sheet of paper and make certain that everything you do is in alignment with that core value, right?
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
That's important. So, there's more inside of you. Acknowledge it, right? The alignment. But it is, be careful about your answers.
Mm-hmm.
Because your answers can determine your destiny.
Mm-hmm. Be mindful of where those answers are coming from. Frequently, depending on whatever season you're in, you really have to do some serious soul searching before you sit down and try to figure out where you're heading next. Like, who am I? What are my motives here?
Man.
If I say yes to this, ask yourself, why am I going to say yes to this? You don't want to say yes to it to impress people.
Yeah.
You don't want to say yes to that to get on a bigger stage if that's not the stage that God has meant for you. You don't want to say yes to that to get more paper because sometimes, all that glitters is not gold.
Yeah.
It looks good on the outside. It looks like I can pay my bills.
Yeah.
But will I be able to be set for the rest of my life? By saying no to that, that can open up opportunities for you to never struggle another day again in your life. And it'll make that thing that you just said yes to look like nothing, right? And so you always want to be prayerful as you're moving through this.
Maybe you hear it like this. Mm-hmm. When you say no to something, you're making yourself available.
Yes.
When that real yes shows up.
Mm-hmm. And that goes for not just jobs, that goes for relationships, goes for friendships, it goes for doing favors for people.
Yeah.
Hey, so-and-so, can you help me with this project over here? You're so good at X, Y, and Z. Yes, I am. I appreciate that. Thank you for thinking about me, but in this season, I don't have the capacity to do that right now.
Yeah, and be okay with that.
Be okay with that. Like, thank you for asking me. Thank you for thinking about me. Thank you for the compliment. But unfortunately,
I don't have it.
I don't,
Whew, this is a good one, man. Mm-hmm. I hope y'all have been blessed. I hope it has touched you, and I am deeply appreciative of this conversation, and it's coming from a real place, and we want you to know that.
Still doing it.
It's our life, our journey, our truth, and so we want you to know that it's important to us to stay connected to you. So make sure you subscribe again. Make sure you comment so we can hear from you. Let us know as we want to interact with you in the comment section, all that good stuff. Let's stay connected. Again, follow Dr. Steph, follow me. We would love to do that. And we appreciate you tuning in to another edition of Couple of Destiny. We appreciate you so much, and share this with friends. Thank you again. We look forward to the next one we'll share with you. So stay tuned. I'm Bishop.
And I'm Dr. Steph.
Peace out.